Without the ones like you, who work tirelessly to keep things running, everything would suddenly stop. Hospitals, factories, schools, and power plants, they all depend on you. No matter the weather, emergency, or time of day, you're the ones who get it done. At Grainger, we're here for you 24/7, with supplies and solutions for every industry, and access to product specialists ready to help. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
At Kroger, fresh groceries are our thing, so we check your delivery order for freshness at every step from farm to store and pick and pack every veggie in your free pickup order with care, because we treat your food the way we'd want ours to be treated. We're fresh every day, so shop anyway. Kroger, fresh for everyone. Free pickup on orders of $35 or more. Restrictions may apply.
Get more ways to save at the Buy 5 or More Save $1 each sale. Just buy 5 or more participating items and save $1 each with card. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
Are you ready, kids? Get your parents' permission, check your mailbox, and grab your shopping cart. It's time for the Adventures in Collecting podcast.
I'm Eric.
And I'm Dave. Welcome to Adventures in Collecting, where we talk toy news, culture, and hauls,
along with our journeys as collectors. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Adventures in Collecting.
Hi. I listened, so I didn't want to make Eric work harder just for this little part. So I just listened back and then tried to copy it in real life.
I appreciate it. You did a really good job there. That was like just the right amount of dead air. I'm gonna give you a little golf clap for that. Thank you.
Now, if we ever do a live show, I'm gonna make everyone work for it, but which in turn leads to Eric not burying the lead.
Yeah, I was just gonna say
we're back to not burying leads.
Before I don't bury the lead, I just wanted to shout out the fact that it's kind of like your Jason Mantzoukas bit with the "What's up, jerks." Like you gotta wait a minute and then hit everybody.
Don't look at me.
Yeah. So true, not bearing the lead. We are joined by
my beard is not as large though as Jason Mantzoukas, but I would hope someday that it could be, because Jason Mantzoukas' beard rules.
I wonder if Jason Mantzoukas collects toys, because he would be an awesome guest somewhere down the line.
We would have no way to reach out to him though.
Yeah, I'd have to somehow get Paul Shear's ear.
Yeah.
But yes, not bearing the lead. Joining us today on the pod is fellow toy individual, toy person, and past guest, Craig of Craigsstuff. Hi, Craig.
Hi. I'm sorry, I'm not Jason Mantzoukas. But
thank you for being a toy individual.
Yeah, you're a toy individual. I hate saying I'm not going to say the other I word. Now I got to say it. I hate influencer. We're not going to do that.
I was going to say luminary.
I don't consider myself an influencer.
I mean, you unbox toys on YouTube, so.
But I'm not influencing anybody. I don't think.
I mean,
maybe
you got more.
Mythic Legions.
This is true. You influenced me.
That is influence.
All right, maybe. Okay, so I influenced a little bit. All right.
So today on the pod, what we are going to do is something that was kind of a little off the cuff here, but at the end of 2021, we posted a series of kind of galleries of wish lists for 2022, and our followers on Instagram, which if you are not following us there, that is at AIC_podcast. Really kind of dug in and had, people provided their own lists. They had a lot to say about the wish list that we had come up with. It was a lot of fun, really cool conversation. So we thought we would take that a step further on this episode and talk about our wish lists for 2022. So what we did was we each put a list together of 5 items that we would like to see either come out or be announced by toy makers in 2022. Knowing that there is a bit of lag time in between a toy announcement and its release, this is kind of blue sky. So we are not taking any of that into consideration. This is just things that we would love to see pop up on the radar in 2022.
Yeah, even an announcement would be like fulfill the want.
Definitely. And you know what? I was just thinking as I was saying this out loud, we should make this into a little game between the three of us. Like we'll talk about it off air, like maybe like a small like just bragging rights. We'll see if by the end of the year we'll come back around and we'll see who got the most things from their wish lists, if any. I think it'll be fun.
I don't think I'm going to get a single one then. So
who was the Nostradamus of toys?
Well, no, these
Toystradamus.
Toystradamus. No, these definitely make them blue sky. Make them things that you want. I mean, I would say looking at my list, there's probably only one or two things that are even remotely possible.
Oh, so okay, so then I'll remove one because I put like something. And we can leave this in, but I put something that was like, I just want it to be announced already.
Well, no, leave it then. If that's something that you actually want, leave it. It
is something I very much want.
So leave it.
Much and to the chagrin of the lack of room that I have.
All right. So with that, Craig, you being our guest on this 2022 wish list episode, why don't you kick us off with your first wish list item?
All right. Well, I'm gonna save the best for last, I think. So, although you know what the best one is, obviously, I'm saving that one for the last. The big boy. So we'll start off with my first thing, which is actually my final review for 2021, was the Diamond Select Invincible, which I was not a big fan of. Glad we got him. I love Invincible so much, but I really want to see another company take a crack at him. I would love to see Mafex, Medicom Mafex do Invincible. I think they would blow it out of the water. I think.
Now you recently have gotten yourself into the Mafex hole, right?
Yeah, my first was the Superman. I guess was this year. And then I picked up Batman, Catwoman, and now I have Venom and Carnage. So I have, 5?
Yeah.
And they're great. I don't want to get too deep with them. I actually had the Gambit pre-ordered initially, but Big Bad canceled my pre-order, which is very strange. Big Bad usually doesn't do that. But they're the best customer service in the world, that store. And they gave me a $50 gift certificate or gift store credit.
Oh, that's awesome.
Which was great. So I was like, all right, you know what? Now, and that to me was like, all right, well, I don't think I need every Mafex anymore. And it was a good thing. Because I was thinking of getting Gambit and then Psylocke, and I'm like, oh god, this is not good. So Gambit ended up being canceled, so I said, done. I don't need that. I don't need the Wolverine. I don't need Psylocke. I'll stick with a couple of the DC ones and maybe some Spider-Man ones as they go on, but they're great. They're really good figures. So I think they would really do a great job with Invincible, even if it doesn't go too deep and we only get like maybe him and Omni-Man again or whatever. But I think they do such a great job with the smaller figures too, the more lean characters, that I think it would work out really well.
Yeah, the Mafex figure, or Mafex, however you pronounce it, the one that I've been eyeing for a long time, just because I know no one else is going to make it, is they make an Alex from Clockwork Orange that looks fantastic. But I've never owned one before, and I'm deathly afraid that if I get one, I'm going to be entrapped by it. So, but I love the idea of having a 112, Clockwork Orange Alex, and like I said, I don't see anyone else taking a stab at that one, down the line.
Maybe Diamond Select, actually. I feel like, I don't know, sometimes they get those like one-off ones.
Yeah, and they did do rated R.
I could see NECA more so.
Or NECA, maybe. Yeah.
But if NECA does it, that they're going to go deep and get the rest of the Droogs and stuff, which would be fun.
But that's not a character that needs to be super dynamic either.
No.
So it's like Mafex is kind of like, it's almost strange that they did that character.
Well, he has a lot of like there
I mean,
are a lot of poses.
I've never seen the movie, but I kind of like just assumed he's not Spider-Man is basically what I'm saying.
No, but he does have there's a lot of nuance to just kind of like how he stands and carries himself, that having all of those extra little bits of articulation help you kind of like nail those poses. Like the one that the listing on Big Bad Toy Store has him in like an iconic pose from the film that I was looking at it actually today, and looking at like a Marvel Legends figure and realizing like there's no shot that you get a Marvel Legends figure into that pose based just on kind of like the little subtle things going on in like the hips and the shoulders and stuff. So it would be really great for photography, but again, I don't know. Dragging my feet. Dave, why don't you hit what are you looking?
The Alex.
Oh yeah, it's really good, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
And the likeness is fantastic. It looks exactly like him.
That's awesome.
But yeah, Craig, I love that, and that's a great like something that a lot of people don't realize is just because somebody has the domestic rights to a property, doesn't mean that you can't get one of those, a company outside of the U.S. to also make the same properties. You see it all the time with like the Marvel and DC stuff, and I think it doesn't register with people sometimes that there's the U.S. based licenses and then the international ones. So it's not out of the question.
Isn't it also a scale thing too? Some of these companies have like the rights to a certain scale.
Yep, that's also part of it. Sometimes it's scale, sometimes it's distribution, sometimes it's price point. Like I don't remember which one, and I don't want to put my foot in my mouth, but there is one that's like you can't make a $20 to $30 figure. Like it has to be more expensive than that.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
Interesting.
Because you're not fighting it for the same like demographic at that.
Moves you out of toy and into collectible. Is effectively the reasoning behind it. All right, Dave, why don't you hit us with the first one on your list?
All right. So one of the things I started, for better or for worse, is a Ghost Rider collection from Marvel Legends. I mean, I'm more than halfway through, so that's kind of where that's at. But I would totally love a Robbie Reyes.
I agree.
I'm on board with that too.
Maybe, but like
I want the Hell Charger with it.
Car.
Give me the car. Give me the car, because you know how I know exactly how they could repurpose that car. I know 100% exactly how they could reuse it.
How?
The Grizzly Mobile, which is actually was on my top list, but I took it away.
Yeah.
Because the Grizzly is a great character.
It depends on if the flames are. Well, I guess you could use some of the. Yeah, you could. There's.
They just use the mold to change. It does have the Grizzly Mobile has a bear on the front, and I imagine I don't think Robbie Reyes has a bear in the front of his car.
No.
But they could just throw it on there.
What I'm thinking too is how they could package it to save space. They could package it the way that they did with like the Professor X, where they like make the car two pieces, like a seam down the middle, so that way
exactly.
you can stack it like this.
The front of the car could actually be removable, which is how you make the Gibbon Mobile, because they only would need to remake it's not Gibbon Mobile, Grizzly Mobile. I'm spoiling myself here.
And anyone who follows us on Instagram knows exactly what one of the items on your list is going to be, Craig. Anybody,
and that's fine.
Yeah. But, no, I'm totally here for Robbie Reyes. That's actually, that's believe it or not, it's my favorite version of Ghost Rider. Thanks to Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. And if they made one, I would 100% get it and put him on my MCU adjacent shelf, because he was in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. So, and his TV appearance was very, 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 very close to.
Yeah, it's very comic accurate.
Yeah. Down to the model of Charger, down to the kind of that like weird, almost kind of like industrial lines on the skull. Yeah, long overdue. And this year is the year of vengeance.
Yeah.
Oh snap! Right. So you know it's coming.
Well,
give Dave a point for his right now.
Since you're midway through your Ghost Rider collection, are there any other Ghost Riders that have not been tackled by Marvel Legends at this? Like, I mean, other than like the weird like cosmic ones when like Doctor Strange becomes Ghost Rider and stuff like that.
I mean, even the Frank Castle one has been done, but
Yeah.
there's a few that haven't, but they're like kind of so.
Have they even done Catch?
Yeah, the old Toy Biz ones are.
Okay. Yeah, but in
he
the
looks pretty
Hasbro
much
days,
he looks pretty much the same anyway.
In theory, one of the early Legends where it was the blue one and the red one is Danny.
Gotcha.
Okay.
The blue one in that story was technically him because the red one's Blaze. Or vice versa. I might have that wrong, but it's been a while since I've read that.
Fun fact: that was my first Marvel Legend. The blue one. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I am staring at the blue one right now. But yeah, it's. I mean, there's a couple of like the one with the horse, but there's a lot.
Yeah,
there's a handful. But as far as like the main long running Ghost Riders go.
2022 is also the year of the horse because McFarlane Toys is putting out like 3 different horses. You got to build a horse. You got a horse for Witcher. Yeah.
Mythic Legions, the Cabal was really complaining about the that horse.
Which the McFarlane horse?
The specifically the one from The Witcher.
Oh, Roach.
Roach, yeah. They were like, "Oh, he's so skinny. He's so skinny." I'm like, he looks fine to me. I don't know.
I cannot wait for that Dark Knight Returns Build a Horse wave. I have not been that excited for an entire wave of McFarlane figures since ever. Yeah, I have not gone in a full wave yet on McFarlane. No, I take that back. I did the Snyderverse ones, but or Snyder Cut ones. Yeah.
I did Suicide Squad. That's the only full wave.
Super excited for that horse. Wow, look at that horse.
And then I'm doing that Dark Knight wave.
Yeah. All right. I'll go next. So this was one that we had talked about on Instagram. I don't know where this came from in my brain, but now that I've put it out in the world, like I want it to exist more than anything. I would love NECA to take a crack at the Dick Tracy figures from the film, from the Disney film. Because I love the way that they kind of did justice to those characters. Like they're like blocky and over exaggerated.
But it's live action, right? That movie?
Yeah. Yep. So the Warren Beatty, Dick Tracy, and the Al Pacino, Big Boy, and help me out. Who was Flat Top? Is from he was in Devil's Rejects.
I've never seen the movie.
Is it Tom Tolles?
No. He plays the detective. He's like he was in that Steven Seagal movie too. He always plays like an absolute like raging lunatic in the movies he's in. Man, my brain doesn't work like it used to.
I'm looking now because I can't.
But as soon as you say it, I'm going to kick myself because I absolutely love that movie, and yeah. But just thinking about like how deep.
Oh, William Forsythe.
Thank you, William Forsythe.
I was thinking of. Yeah, I know who I was thinking of.
But I would love to see them start with those 3. Recently, their human likenesses have been bananas good. Some of the best they've ever done, like the Casey Jones, the April O'Neil, the NECA or the McCready, have all been amazing. The new Bruce Campbell that's coming out for Evil Dead looks fantastic. I just think those figures are so toyetic, and they have this kind of weird synergy situation going on right now with Disney and also Playmates. So I would love to see them kind of make these Dick Tracy figures, but make them life accurate instead of but like because they have this the relationship with the turtles and everything, they could do like Playmates inspired packaging maybe for them. I think it would be I could see Dave is giving me a funny look. Playmates made the
Yeah, but what does Disney have to do with that?
Disney. They have the Gargoyles license, and
That's right.
Disney holds the license for Dick Tracy. So
That's right. Yeah.
I would love to see them do that. I think they would absolutely they'd absolutely crush it. So, and those are the first 3 figures I would like to see. Is Dick Tracy, Big Boy, and Flat Top.
Cool.
Interesting. I know nothing about Dick Tracy. I've seen a couple of the characters, and we had a mask of one of the characters. I want to say it was the flat top guy because he had the flat head.
Yeah,
we had a really creepy mask that came into the shop one day, and it was really horrifying because like the eyes are cut out. So like it was just like.
So I could see it.
It was
terrifying. I would imagine
terrifying.
it kind of looks like Leatherface too at that point.
Yeah.
Yes, 100%. Yeah.
Yeah, and the only Dick Tracy, like new Dick Tracy product that's coming is at one of the Mezco events, either the summer or the fall. They announced that they're doing a comic, like pulpy Dick Tracy figure, which I'm sure will be incredible and might be my second ever NECA figure, but or a Mezco figure, excuse me. But I love that film version and how exaggerated everything is, and like just thinking about the accessories and like all of the different like gangsters that they could go and make, it would be awesome. Craig, let's kick it back over to you for your next one.
All right. For my next one, I guess this is actually a toy line that existed, but has since they just don't make any figures for it anymore. The SH Figure Arts One Piece. I really would like them to bring back One Piece. I don't know if I mentioned to you guys, but I am beyond obsessed with One Piece now.
That's another deep hole to fall down, isn't it?
I'm 600 as of recording 693 or 4 episodes into it. Out of 1,000, I think it's at like 1,004 or so, something like that.
And it's not done, right? It's still running,
still going. Still got. They're saying like maybe 5 or so more years, but it is so good. That show is so good.
What do they do? Like 20 episodes a year?
Oh, more than that. I think it's pretty much I think weekly.
Wow.
Maybe they take some some time off here and there, but it's more or less a weekly show.
That's bananas.
And
that's cool.
It's crazy. Maybe it's bi-weekly. I don't really know actually, because I'm not at this point. I'm not watching it weekly. So, but I really want them to bring back the figure arts line. They did many years ago. I think they did a Nami and a Luffy. That aren't very good. You can tell their age. They're very, very early SH Figure Arts. And since then, the only action figure versions of the characters was Mega House and the variable action called Variable Action Heroes line, which are good, and I'd like them a lot. And I have a bunch of them now, but they are really big. They're like, I don't know. I want to say maybe like 8-inch is maybe or something like that. So, when you get figures that big, if you've ever seen One Piece, the characters are so like, talk about exaggerated proportions. One Piece is like insanely exaggerated proportions on a lot of characters. So you're never going to get certain characters in that size, especially to be articulated at a reasonable price point too.
Yeah.
You're like, so I think if SH Figure Arts did it, it would be a lot better.
Yeah, and Bandai does have the license for it because they're making the anime. They have Anime Heroes,
and they do the Figure Arts Zero.
Yep.
Well, like a lot of One Piece, like the statues.
And they also announced the it's the third figure in that I think it's like 1/9 scale. It's the line that has right now just a Goku and a Vegeta, and Vegeta has soft goods.
Yes, very excited about that. The Imagination Works.
Yes,
the Luffy they're doing, and I'm really it looks like so good.
Yeah.
I actually don't know because his outfit in that is later in the show, so I haven't seen him in that exact outfit yet. So it might kind of be a spoiler to me actually, but
yeah. I only know him in the like jorts and red open shirt.
That's pretty much what he wears the whole time. But in this, he has a jacket on, which I think belongs to another character, and I think there's a reason he has it. So I don't know.
Oh.
We'll see.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah.
You only have like 600 episodes.
I'll get there. I'm gonna get there.
400, give or take.
It's like 3.
Uh,
But it's I need more figures from them.
yeah, the anime stuff sells, man, and they seem to be getting it right more than they've ever have as of late over there. So
yeah, they're killing it. So
I think that's a safe. I think that's a safer bet. I think it's a safer bet than you might think it is. Dave, hit us with your next one.
All right, so this next one was part of the Instagram thing. Now, granted, if Flashpoint Batman comes out, this doesn't count as part of this. I'm already stating that because it'll be Flashpoint Batman, or Flash movie Batman, but we know it's Flashpoint. But that is a McFarlane DC multiverse, but for older movies. I'm talking like Christopher Reeve. I'm talking 89 Batman. I'm talking Arnold as Mr. Freeze. Christian Bale, Heath Ledger, anything along those lines. But also I would, like movie Swamp Thing, like anything that's in that kind of realm.
Now, do you want to see it come to the multiverse line, or do you want to see them do that with like their kind of 6-inch Kenner?
No, I don't want it to be Batman 66 style.
So
I want it to be multiverse.
DC multiverse. Let's say like retro DC films.
Yeah.
I mean, if you recall, going back to the chat we had with McFarlane at Toy Fair, what feels like a millennia ago, they said that like things that were on their radar that they wanted to do were like Jack Nicholson Joker, and they wanted to do Joaquin Phoenix Joker, but there was like license issues. Like Joaquin Phoenix doesn't want to be a licensed figure, doesn't want to license his likeness out, and apparently Jack Nicholson is extremely picky about it. However, Beast Kingdom just put out a very obviously officially licensed 89 Joker and 89 Batman. So maybe as he is getting on in age, he's more open to licensing his likeness out.
Yeah.
So fingers crossed for that. I think to your point though, Dave, I think too that a Michael Keaton Batman is certainly coming with that new film.
I would not be shocked.
Yeah.
There has to be.
It got to be. I mean that.
But like also,
you wouldn't be able to keep that in stock anywhere if they nail it.
Also, like Michelle Pfeiffer Catwoman, like any of those, Danny DeVito Penguin, like there's a whole treasure trove of things McFarlane is good at in those like older DC movies.
I know the one you're really waiting for. You really just want to chase a Dr. Chase Meridian figure. It's just one that's high on your list.
I just hope they would nail the likenesses on them though, because I don't know, the Suicide Squad ones, the maskless versions. I don't know.
Cena looks like John Cena.
I did not like the Cena.
The Margot Robbie one is definitely the best one, or Margot Robbie, excuse me, is definitely the best one out of those in terms of just kind of likeness. I think it looks pretty much exactly like her.
Even the Birds of Prey one is too.
It's just they're not using face scans, and the problem is that we're all spoiled now, and at a $20 to $30 price point, we're used to seeing, the face scans, whether it's on wrestling figures, whether it's on Marvel Legends, Star Wars.
Well, even the David Dastmalchian or Malkian Polka Dot Man is good.
I mean, it's obvious who he is.
That one isn't. Yeah, that one's not bad.
But they're still going about it the old school way, where they're
doing
sculpting.
Sculpts,
and it's not going to be as crisp and as good as the what a computer can scan. And that's not to say that they're bad.
The ones are good too.
Yeah, the Gal Gadot one is one of the best ones of her.
Both of them are
period.
good.
Well, it's same face on both figures, same sculpt. But yeah, I think that's a good one, Dave. I like that.
Thank you.
You know what?
That's 2 points for
I
Dave,
agree.
by the way. I think
agree.
he's got now 2 points.
Well, Flashpoint 89 Batman doesn't count.
Yeah, it has to be.
No, yeah, the official one. Yeah,
actual.
I still think that's coming. I think
young man Michael Keaton. Hey, you know what? If again, like one of those things where like apparently Michael Keaton is weird about his likeness too. If he's all ready to be a Batman figure again, maybe we'll get a Vulture for the Marvel Legends line. It's with his face.
Yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure they'd love to reuse that mold one more time with a new head. You know.
Well, that's why I skipped this.
Well, it'll be Morbius branded.
Yeah, it could be on the Morbius card. That's true. I would happily take a plain clothes Michael Keaton on a Morbius card, as long as they make the peg on the head peg the same size as the Vulture body. That would be ideal.
Oh, that'd be great.
So that way, you get a plain clothes guy, reuse that body that they've used a million times, and then you can head swap if you want to. I love that kind of cleverness. All right, so my next one is I would love to see the Ghostbusters Plasma series continue this year with a Ghostbusters 2 Build-A-Vigo wave.
I think this was mine from last year, wasn't it?
I think we had kind of this was like ended up being like a hive mind one based on the conversation, but I would absolutely love to see this, especially with the success of the new film. The Afterlife was very well received. The figures are gorgeous. The Proton Pack funded the HasLab. So I completely like I think over 22,000 people ordered one, which is amazing. To think that there's going to be 22,000 Proton Packs floating around out there kind of just makes me smile.
And they'll all be in San Diego.
Do you think he'll get their like hums to sync up?
Sure,
everybody. Yeah, but I was thinking for the Build-A-Vigo wave, it would be Ray, Egon, Winston, Peter, Janusz, and then I was actually thinking a film version of Slimer, because I was trying to think of something that was like toyetic, and like, yeah, it would be great to have like Lewis in the in the jumpsuit, or have a Janine.
Need Lewis in the jumpsuit,
or have a Janine figure, but I have an answer for that. If you make this wave, you do Ray, Egon, Winston, Peter, Janusz. He's like your not toyetic guy that's on the shelf, and then you do a film accurate version of Slimer. So like you cast him in like a translucent plastic, and he can stand in for the first film as well.
That's another Lewis 2-pack though, because that's where they.
Well, I was gonna say your then your 2-pack is Lewis and Janine is your Pulse Con, or because she suits him up.
But I think you also need Dana and the baby, because the baby's got to be there too.
Yeah, I know, but like just the complete opposite of toyetic. Is a Dana and a baby figure.
Yeah, but if you're doing a Build-A-Vigo though, with like the painting too,
if she comes with like a baby carrier or something, like I don't know,
the carriage that gets cursed in the beginning.
There you go. Suddenly it's like, oh crap, I could use that for my other figures.
But if you're doing the painting, and just think, all you need is like just a diorama, people are gonna want to build that, but there are things you're gonna need that are all at the end.
Yeah,
and you can't use that first series Dana.
No, well, no. That first series Dana is good for literally one scene. And that's levitating her with a fishing line.
Yeah, but now that you have the second Terror Dog head.
Yeah, thankfully. That was a great add-on in that pack.
Yeah, I gotta switch mine.
So, yeah, but that's my second one. Is I want to build a Vigo. It's Vigo.
Yeah, the legendary Peter McNichol line.
Amazing. Craig, back to you.
All right. This is another character very very near and dear to, I think, only me, to be honest. This is I want this. I need a Star Wars Black Series Watto.
That's actually a great idea, though.
I own the only 3 3/4 scale Star Wars figures I even have anymore, because I of course used to collect them because they were the only ones available. But I since had sold my entire collection, aside from Kid Fisto, which we got, and my Wattos, because I have 3 of them, two. The one in the little hat from episode 2, and then
that's the one I have.
Which they can it can just be an accessory in this to put the little hat on. Suddenly it's episode 2 Watto, episode 1 Watto. You just take the hat off. It's 2 figures in one.
I'm all here for a Watto figure.
And then
I'm surprised they've not done like anything pod race. They
could also use those the race, because they're in Clone Wars. Like those characters, there's a couple episodes I think where they are in it. So if they ever want to reuse the sculpt, which it probably, who knows, they could. And I love Watto.
Episode 1 is one of those films that has over the years both aged very poorly and well at the same time. Like
little Annie, my boy Annie.
I love the two of them. Like I love that movie, in recognizing that both ends of the spectrum exist. And hey, we got we got 2 Black Series Jar Jar Binkses in 2021. So, if that's and for the most part, except for the regular carded one, that deluxe one kind of clogged up shelves in Target for a while. There was like armies of Jar Jar. The one on the old Phantom Menace style packaging, like the Darth Maul packaging, that one sold. You couldn't find it anywhere. So
I feel like there was less of that though, because I never saw like really any. I saw Jar Jar on the shelf, I think, but like I never saw like who's Mace Windu. Was he in it? Or
I think they were Best Buy exclusives.
Or
yeah, I think they were.
Qui-Gon, right? Qui-Gon was on one.
It was Qui-Gon, Mace Windu. And
I don't even know if Mace was, to be honest. I don't remember.
It was, yeah. It was Qui-Gon, Mace Windu, and Jar Jar. So,
yeah, they were Best Buy.
Could do my boy.
Hey, and then they can take the sculpt and they can shrink it down and give us a vintage collection one, because we don't have that either.
That's true. See, yeah, mine are on the mine are the old ones, the original.
Not that you really need extra articulation with him. He kind of just sits there and complains. So.
You gotta have those wings flapping,
Yeah.
Can have him if his mouth goes up and down, then he can complain.
Perfect.
That's all it needs.
And then he can be scared of adult Anakin with his little hat on.
In fact, make it a deluxe pack with Watto and Kid Anakin. I'm sure those will fly on the shelf.
That would actually be awesome.
With the little pod racer helmet.
Yeah. Or even you could do one of the accessories could be a Pitroid.
Oh my god!
And the pod,
which they have.
That's
right.
They
made
Comic-Con right there. You get the pod.
Oh, dude, that thing would be so big.
I would love that, but yeah, it would be big.
An Anakin Pod Racer. I mean, I had recently. I've seen the old. The one from that in the 3 3/4 scale, and that thing is huge. It's way bigger than you think it would be, and scaled up for that would have to be a HasLab if that was going to be a thing.
Yeah,
that would have to be a HasLab.
We had them in the shop not that long ago, and yeah, they're big.
Okay,
they're probably like a little over a foot in length, I would say, and that's for a 3 3/4.
Yeah,
and then that's just for Anakin's pod, because this was obviously the smallest one. But imagine you got like Sebulba.
Oh my god,
it'd be like massive.
That would be a great wave of figures, though. Like knock off some of those characters from episode 1
from the pod race.
Like, what's the guy's name? My favorite pod race is the guy who got blown up right in the beginning.
and he just Poodoo.
Yeah. What the hell is that guy's name?
They have funny. All I think of when I think of that scene is Greg Proops. Greg Proops doing the commentary as one of the 2-headed alien guy.
That was Greg Proops?
Yeah, he's one of the heads.
Oh my god.
He's the one that's speaking in English.
I did not know that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh crap.
Ben Quaginero.
Yeah, Quaginero. Yeah, I just found
it. Just came to me. Ben Quaginero.
Ben Quagineros. Yeah.
Voodoo.
And now, a word from our sponsors. And now, back to the show.
All right, Dave, you're up next.
All right, this one is likely to happen. It's just a question of when, not if, because we know they're coming. But there's still no announcement on the existence of these. And that's the mask-style Fortnite figures.
Yeah.
What is that? What does that mean? What do you mean?
So
like Mask like the TV show? Or the old show?
Yeah, so like that size, but Fortnite, but with like all the other stuff that lives in Fortnite.
A 2.5 inch figure line, a micro line.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, we had absolute mad scientist, toy genius Mike DeCamp from Jazzwares on the show a while ago, and he mentioned that was something that they were working on, and since then has been burning in our skulls waiting to see it, because it's just one of those things that's like lends itself so well to the game, especially like the world built, like the actual like building part of Fortnite, and like the accessories, and then like all of the vehicles. You that small too. You could effectively make a glider that glides. Because everything would be so much lighter. It's just the possibilities are endless going down to that scale, and Hasbro's having a hell of a time with those Mission Fleet figures. Those are selling. Are cool. They're selling so well, and effectively you'd be looking at very similar size there, comparison. So they would also fit with that world. And Jazzwares has been really cool about kind of like synergizing their products with like the other stuff that's out there in the market, because Fortnite absorbs so many different IPs with like the different skins and stuff. So, big cross-play opportunity there as well. I am going to take us back to Star Wars for my next pick. One of my biggest gripes as a Star Wars collector is The Rise of Skywalker did not get a line of figures. So it is the only film in the entire franchise that did not get a line of 5 POA 3 3/4 inch figures. And I know that they have said that they have retired the 5 POA style for now. But in terms of the vintage collection, we've only gotten like a handful of Rise of Skywalker figures on, or vintage collection figures on Rise of Skywalker cards. We had Rey, one Knight of Ren, and 2 different Sith troopers. A regular Sith trooper, and then a Sith jet trooper. Those are the only figures we've gotten from the Rise of Skywalker.
There really wasn't like a 5 point of articulation, like kids, like with like those special like extra accessories, like or anything for that movie.
It is the only film in the franchise that did not get its own line, and it crushes me, because the 5 POA figures at that point, like the ones that they had put out for Rogue One, the ones that they had put out for Solo, the ones that they had put out for Star Wars Resistance, were some of the best that they had ever done. Like flat out, like could stand next to vintage collection figures and hold their own. Like they were fantastic. The detail, the sculpts, a lot of them had started to have face prints on them. Like it was really, really, really good. And then they just didn't deliver anything with the Rise of Skywalker. That Force Friday leading up to it, the figures in that like Force Friday wave were Rey, a Sith trooper, and Zori Bliss. We also got a Zori Bliss figure. But we never got a Ben Solo, never got a Kylo Ren with the fixed up helmet, never got Finn, never got Poe, never got Janna. It's just it's a shame. And there's, whether you love or hate that movie, same goes for, any of the sequel trilogy films. There's a lot of really toyetic stuff in that movie. So I would love to see a wave of vintage collection figures from The Rise of Skywalker. I'd love to see Ben Solo. I'd love to see like Uber Palpatine from the end. Um, the like Sith loyalists that were like guarding Palpatine are super cool design. The rest of the Knights of Ren. I would love a Jedi training sequence Leia. That way too we can get her lightsaber with that, so that way you can recreate the end. It's just I would absolutely love for them to go back to that film and crank out some 3 3/4 inch figures for it.
I'm really surprised that they didn't do that. I mean, they haven't touched those movies in years because they're just like, I think they're afraid, honestly, because of a lot of people did not. I personally, I thought they were fine. I had no problems with those movies.
Yeah, I mean, it's just one of those things where, like I loved The Last Jedi, and I will die on that hill that movie was.
That's my favorite of the three.
That it was actually like a good like movie.
I really like Force Awakens. That was my favorite, I think, of the
Force
three.
Awakens was really good too.
Yeah, The Rise of Skywalker was messy, but it didn't stop me from enjoying it. Like, I've still gone back and rewatched it, and I enjoy it. It's better than Episode 2, and I think that's the low point of the entire franchise. I think that's probably the worst Star Wars film in my book. But like,
I think they are better than the definitely, actually, as movies go, I would definitely say they're better than the prequels. There's like no doubt in my mind
100%
that they're better than the prequels.
Mm-hmm. And The Rise of Skywalker,
although I like Episode 3 quite a bit.
Yes,
but I like the prequels a lot, and I think for me the world that the prequels created is more interesting, which is why I think I like them more.
I think the thing with the prequels too was you had a point where you were leading up to, like, you knew how it was going to end,
and there were also characters that you knew already too. Like, you didn't have to worry about introducing, like, the new characters that they introduced were all, with the exception of Ahsoka, who was a home run of a new character. The characters that were created in the prequel era, like even just the films, like taking Ahsoka out of the conversation because she debuted in a cartoon, you had characters that, like, you knew who Anakin Skywalker is because you watched Darth Vader for 3 films. You knew who Obi-Wan Kenobi was because you knew him from the first film. So you didn't have to learn and like feel out these characters. They were ones that you already loved. Whereas this, you're trying to sell people on 3 new characters, but also weaving in some of the characters that they love. And the moment, especially in today's day and age, the moment some storyline veers off from like your own personal vision of what the character is supposed to be, it's like everyone shuts down and can't see it. So
also Porg.
Yeah. So I would love for them to go back and hit some of those characters, and maybe it'll just take some time. Like, they're starting to go back to the prequel stuff. I hope it doesn't take that long, but maybe in time. Craig, back to you.
All right. So I actually wrote. I mean, yeah. Well, I did write 6 also, but I'm not sure if we're gonna get to 6. So I'm just gonna go with another SH Figure Arts. This year we finally got the Naruto line is finally coming back. Thank the Lord. That's been one of my biggest wants now for a few years. And I really my biggest want, I guess, from that would be Hinata.
Okay.
I don't know if you guys are familiar with the character. She is I guess pretty much my favorite character in the show, aside from like Rock Lee. So I don't know if you're familiar with Rock Lee, but Rock Lee is basically Bruce Lee.
Mm-hmm.
So, and we've gotten him already in the original line, so I figured Hinata is definitely the way to go. But that line, I'm so happy that they're that honestly, it doesn't even matter what they make as long as they're just diving into some new characters. I don't even care. I've been talking about it. I want every single character that was ever made, that was ever in Naruto in figure form.
Well, I mean, that's one of those situations where like the new and this is something that like that Bluefin has been very vocal about. This line exists because people wanted it to.
Yeah. And then you know what the worst part is? I saw them post on Twitter about because they announced the first three, which are Naruto, Sasuke, and Sakura. Sakura being the new one because Sakura was never made in the original line.
Yeah.
And she's an important character. She's part of she's the main three crew. And they posted who likes Sakura Haruno, who here likes Sakura Haruno on Twitter, and it's just a bunch of comments about her sucking. And I'm like, are you? I mean, I know that the Naruto fans do not like her, but you need her. She's so important to the story, and she's not a bad character. And people love to hate. You know how it is. But
well, it's like that with any of those, like
every franchise.
Yeah, like I was just thinking of Demon Slayer. Like no one actually likes Zenitsu, but you need him.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, he's actually grating when he's on he's on
horrible.
screen.
Oh, I can't stand him.
He's miserable, but he's so necessary at this point that like any figure line would have to include him. And when you have characters like that, what are you gonna do? You can't avoid it.
Absolutely, I have a Zenitsu. I have the Buzzmod one. It's and I don't even I like Demon Slayer a lot. But it gets such a it's so hyped up, that show. Like so hyped up, especially around like where I work. Everybody's always talking about Demon Slayer as if it's the best anime ever. And
I will say
good.
It did not. It's really good. It didn't live up to the hype for me. I really do enjoy it. Like the first season ended, and I'm in. Like I'm definitely going to continue watching it. But it didn't like rock my world the way that everyone.
That's 100% how I feel.
Had built it up to be. Like I think My Hero Academia is more deserves more hype than something like that. If you're going with like modern.
Totally agree, 100%.
But you need to start watching My Hero, Dave. It's all on Hulu. It's an anime that you would really enjoy because it's effectively like if it was a superhero anime. I mean, that's what it is, and it's wonderful.
Cool. I'll.
And they go over the top
try.
too. They do there's like some very silly powers, and it's like
best genist.
Yeah, he's the best.
Genist.
Like there's the one dude who's literally the power. Are you caught up, Eric?
No, because admittedly I watched the dub. I like the voice acting better on the dub.
No, you're caught up with the dub. I mean,
no, because they haven't put out the dub of the season yet.
Oh, on what, Hulu?
On Hulu, yeah.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Okay.
So I'm waiting.
Well, I guess it's not really a spoiler, but there is a character whose power is he lifts the paint off of the roads.
That sounds about right. That doesn't surprise me.
Like that's what he has the ability to take the road paint, and that's it.
See, this is what you're getting into, Dave.
But somehow it works. Roads are everywhere, right? So same with Best Genus. Like that's why his power works, because everybody wears clothes.
Yeah. Dave, you're up next.
All right, so my fourth one is going to be, and this I guess is a call for Super 7. I know at some point, hopefully, we're going to hear about New Japan Pro Wrestling Series 3. But my other call is for. So, I guess there's a lot to it, right? So, or New Japan Series 3 and beyond, New Japan Pro Wrestling. But I think there's also room for that 6-inch, 7-inch, I guess it's really more 6-inch scale of indie wrestling figures. And I know they kind of started it with Matt and Brian and Gallows and Anderson. But I also think you could kind of consider that like Impact Wave 0 in a way. So, and Impact has been without a figure line for a while. But I also think there's room for, that same scale for like, Nick Gage and for wrestlers like that too. So, there's room to go in a direction or many directions. But whichever direction they can go in. But I think, like, we've got a Wave 0 in Theory of Impact, so why not more Impact? But if we wanted to stay the indie route, or kind of unaffiliated route in a way, then we could do that too.
Yeah,
or why not all three?
More.
I mean,
more.
All those
market-
guys are part of Impact. All the four of those guys. I'm not watching.
Yeah, they all are.
They all are.
They all are.
But these are not the figures
But
that
they're
Super
not
7
Impact.
is making.
Although there is an Impact. There is Impact mentioning, like, the Impact logo is on the Good Brothers.
Okay. I was gonna say but I think the idea was that they were making them as wrestler podcast personalities.
Yeah, as talking shop.
Yeah.
Wrestlers.
But yeah, I mean, wrestling it's 2021 and beyond now. Wrestling figures, like, look at the companies popping up with stuff like Cella Toys has 3 toy lines now. Like, they're making a 7-inch scale, competition line. They have their Hasbro retro style, and then now they're doing Jack's Bone Crunching in their Bone Crusher figures. You have Zombie Sailor doing the retro line. You got Super 7.
The major bendies. Like, there's so many things that exist now. But that's kind of like 2 of the areas where there's a surprising lack.
Mm-hmm. And like,
and
you could.
There's so many great wrestlers that haven't either gotten a figure or haven't gotten a good figure.
I'm calling it right now. Danhausen is going to be in the line.
Well, depending on where he winds up.
I'm thinking, honestly, when we were talking about this recently. Well, I think once he's healed, he's getting signed with AEW. I think
yeah,
Tony
I can totally
Khan.
see that.
I think Tony Khan signs him to AEW because his personality is big enough, and I mean, he's a talented wrestler. Like, I've watched his stuff, and he was previously had, like, did he have a feud, or was he a tag team with Orange Cassidy?
I mean, I'm sure on the indies, but I think that was on Jericho's cruise.
But, like, he's. I think he would fit in really well at AEW.
I think he's probably one of the most popular indie wrestlers out there.
I mean, he outsold everybody on Pro Wrestling Tees. He was the number one when they put out their numbers for 2021. He was the most,
other than that Punk one, yeah.
Yeah, no, overall wrestlers, like, for overall sales, he was number 1.
And the zombie figure was the fastest one too.
Yep.
But I think I wouldn't be surprised if Danhausen wound up with a Jazzwares figure at some point.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure. I guess if he gets signed with them, they'll pump that figure out real quick.
Oh yeah.
I just think I'm not really following wrestling, so for him, it's like, I think it's crazy how popular that guy has gotten. Like, I feel like I just hear about him constantly.
He has the right level of, first of all, he's interesting looking. Like, his actual, like, aesthetic is
totally
weird and interesting.
He's toyetic.
He is. But the weird character too, like the way that he speaks and, like, the words that he uses, like his vocabulary, he is just it's like a perfect storm.
So unique.
Yeah.
It's so unique.
Like, who says human money?
Yeah.
He wants a blimp and human money. Like, it's just it's so well crafted, and he's committed to it. And the fact that he hasn't been the fact that he broke his leg and is more popular than he's ever been prior to breaking his leg goes to show you how well crafted his character is that he can continue working without having to step foot in the ring. I mean, it's just he's an anomaly.
I watched a YouTube video of him just drink soda for like 20 minutes, and I was so, like, drawn in by it.
Yeah, he's out of this world. So it's to me next, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So my next one is, I think this one is my given. I think this is absolutely going to happen this year.
You mean your Gibbon?
No, not my Gibbon. My Gibbon. Gibbon with a V. G.I. Joe Classified Shipwreck. Shipwreck
Okay.
Oh,
is
snap.
he's was my favorite G.I. Joe growing up. I just loved him in his bell bottoms and sailor suit, and he had the cool green parrot Polly. He's missing from that like core group. I would love to see them at least announce a Shipwreck before the end of the year. If not put one out. Yeah, that's pretty simple.
I think 2022 might be the year I cave on
It's so good, man.
on the classified. I have. It's funny because when they first announced them, I was like, oh, they don't look that. I was like, they look kind of strange. But I mean, I'm not really a big fan of G.I. Joe anyway, or a fan at all. Actually, I have no interest in G.I. Joe. But now I'm like looking at them and like this is like top notch Hasbro, like the most modern you can get, and it's like it's good stuff.
It's the best work that they're doing. It's the best work that they're doing, and Lenny and Corey over there really hit their stride with these past couple releases. Like,
it's the line where I had to look at it and go like, because G.I. Joe is one of the things I played with the most when I was a kid. I had to look at it and go, I can't get everything. Like, I had to be like, all right, this is the thing that I would like to dive into that I just can't.
Yeah.
I am getting my first next week.
What'd you get?
We because I saw the orders that are coming in on for next week's stuff, and the Timber and Snake Eyes 2-pack is coming out, and I wanted it solely for Timber, but
the Wolf is fantastic.
I'm like, but I'm getting both, so I mean, I'm not gonna throw away Snake Eyes.
And
plus, he comes with all those guns.
Yep.
It's a great pack.
And the fact that they nailed the animal articulation the way that they did, there are so many other dogs in G.I. Joe that they could now do, based off of that kind of articulation system. Like I would love to see Law and Order too, would be awesome. I think Order was a Rottweiler, but yeah, I would love to see more animals.
Oh, what are we getting? What's his name? The guy with the
Crocmaster.
Well, that one I'm definitely getting for the crocodile.
Yeah, Fiona.
The one with the eagle. What's his name?
Oh, Spirit and Freedom is the eagle. Yeah, Spirit's
the character name.
Yeah,
the guy. Yeah, that figure looks unbelievable. So
yeah,
I don't know, man. I got a buddy of mine who has been busting my chops about G.I. Joe for the past like 2 years. He's like, you gotta get him, and I'm like, I don't want them.
They're incredible.
They really are.
I might pick and choose.
All right, so we each have one left on our list, right?
Mm-hmm.
No, that was Craig's. Or yeah, this is Craig's last one.
Right?
Yeah.
You're about to do your last one, Craig?
I am about to, I guess. Yeah.
All right. So before we do this, let's just hear a quick word from our friends at Chubsy Wubsy. This segment is brought to you by our friends at Chubsy Wubsy Toys. A traditional mom-and-pop toy store in Little Falls, New Jersey, Chubsy Wubsy Toys brings you the best new toys from the brands you love without the hassle of pounding the pavement searching for them at larger retail stores. Visit them in person at 106 Main Street in Little Falls, New Jersey, or online at chubsywubsy.com. That's CHUBZYWUBZZY.com. And tell them Adventures in Collecting sent you.
So I'm sure you both know my final choice. The Marvel Legends Gibbon. He's my most wanted Marvel Legend. Spider, he's so good. I don't know what else to say. If you don't know who the Gibbon is, I mean, I don't know if you gotta read it. Spider-Man, Amazing Spider-Man 18.HU by Nick Spencer. It is the greatest issue of Spider-Man. I have a T-shirt of it.
It's a heartbreaking. You gave me the issue, and it is a heartbreaking issue. Beautifully written comic.
It's great. I really do have a T-shirt. I don't know if you saw the T-shirt. It's in my drawer. I'm not going to get it, but I do have. I got it at Kohl's online. I was looking on the T-shirts at Kohl's online, and it was my favorite issue of Spider-Man for whatever reason.
Are you kidding me? I thought you had that made.
No, No.
Get out of here.
It was from Kohl's.
Because I know that they have some weird Marvel shirts. Like they have one with they have a Marvel Legends Deadpool shirt that says like, "Look, I have hip swivels."
Yeah, they have a bunch of Marvel Legends t-shirts.
But I didn't know that was official.
That was officially licensed t-shirt.
Hell out of here.
The Gibbon, which is also why I want the Grizzly Mobile. Because in Spider-Man 18.8, you see them drive the Grizzly and the Gibbon driving around in the Grizzly Mobile.
I just love that you keep dropping the the actual issue.
Yeah.
It's great. It's also very much not important to the storyline, but it is so good.
Are there any copies of it left at Zap Comics in Wayne, New Jersey?
I think so. I think it's still in the bins right now because I don't buy every copy. I should. I did finally get the first appearance of the Gibbon and the second appearance and the first and second appearance of the Grizzly. So now I'm in.
Somewhere deep in the heart of Texas, Sean is shaking his fist at the sky.
Well, nobody wants Cardiac.
Waiting for Cardiac.
Nobody wants him. I don't know, except come on.
Except for Sean?
Yeah, he can have, get a custom. Get yourself a custom. I have my custom Gibbon right here. I'm just waiting for an official one.
Made beautifully by best friend of the pod and
Dave.
And oft times correspondent, Creepy NJ, Dave.
It's
super
so
talented
good.
guy.
Honestly, I guarantee this figure will be better than the Hasbro one.
It's gonna be if the Gibbon. Let me put it this way, Craig. If they make the Gibbon, and I'm saying this right now, if they make the Gibbon in 2022, I will buy him for you. You do not have to buy him. I am buying you the Gibbon.
Well, don't worry. I'm gonna need more than one.
I will buy you a Gibbon.
Okay. Well, thank you.
All right.
It is 2022.
If they make him if they announce or make him in 2022,
okay.
I'm a witness to this.
I will buy you a Gibbon.
But they're starting to get some deep cuts, so
Yeah, we got Frogman.
I will put my money where my mouth is if they make a Gibbon. Hear that, Ryan? If you want to cost me an extra $22,
we got to talk to Hasbro if they're going to announce it. I need to be there if they're going to make that announcement.
All right, it's all out in the open now. Dave, hit us with your last one.
All right, you know what this is. I asked for it last year. I think I asked for it again at some point. No, I think I mentioned it when Steve from Mattel was on.
Mm-hmm.
And it is we're getting the Shotzi figure in 2022. We need the tank.
Build that tank.
It needs to fire a rocket, a Nerf rocket. It needs to happen.
Listen, that Reckon line?
It can be a build a tank. It can be an actual tank. It can be a Reckon tank. But Shotzi needs her tank.
I agree.
Is this something she comes out in like all the time?
Yeah.
She comes out
in the tank.
It's actually like one of those Walmart
like a
Power Wheels tanks. Because like her shtick is almost that she's like a comic book punk rock, like tank girl. I don't know why it took me so long to get there, but yeah. That's kind of her shtick. So she wears like a war helmet and comes out on
with
a tank.
Horns.
Yeah. She needs a tank.
She needs
to happen.
a tank.
Needs to happen.
Have they made a figure of her at all or no?
It's the Elite's coming out this year.
Okay.
Yeah, she's in what, 95? 96?
95 or 96, I believe.
Yeah, it's one of those. Yeah.
They just announced her. They haven't announced the wave yet.
So my last one is going to surprise you both, and I know this is actually something that Craig would probably want too.
You do want the Gibbon. You really do. I'm so excited.
So I have gotten way deeper into the Dragon Ball Z SH figure arts than I thought I ever would. They're just so good. Like release after release recently has been so much fun. And I'm at the point where I want my favorite character in this format. It would technically be 3 characters if you count the accessories that he would have to come with. but I want an SH Figure Arts King Kai with Bubbles and Gregory.
I agree. I'm on there. I thought you were going to say Yajirobe because he was my 6th, so I'm just throwing it out there. He's on the list there. I was hoping, but...
Oh, Yajirobe and Korin would be good, too.
But King Kai...
Great
choice.
I love King Kai. He's such a fun figure, or such a fun character, and would make such a fun figure. Like thinking like the expression faceplates that they could give him. Like, you know, you could have like a neutral laughing and like an angry one. You know, Gregory, you can make it so that you can one of those like translucent plastic bubbles could connect to his head, so he's got you know. Like, just thinking of all of the things that they could do with that pack, it would have to probably be a P Bandai one.
Almost, it stinks, but almost everything is now. Like, all the, like, the really, unless it's Goku, it's pretty much P Bandai.
I don't see that being a regular release, but still, like, I just think that would be such an awesome figure. You know, you could give him the Halo, too, if you want. There's so many fun things you can include in that. Plus, like you'd have to include like the hammer too, like a big mallet in there. Yeah, it's just he's honestly is my favorite Dragon Ball Z character. So I would love for them to make an SH Figure Arts pack. You know, for that. Plus, like they've made Goku so many times now, and like you need more things to put with your various Gokus that you've had, and that's such an iconic little arc in that Frieza saga. Yeah, to have him. Plus, like he interacts with so many of the other characters too. It's just he'd be fun to have.
And I feel like they could totally. I'm thinking like it. You know, our way articulation might be kind of tough from his design, but they could probably do something similar to like maybe the Pac-Man, like with his legs,
with the slidey legs. That's exactly what I was thinking.
Something like that. Which, by the way, fantastic figure, one of my favorites. But it doesn't. Also, he doesn't need to be super dynamic anyway. So
he's all arms.
He's all armed. Yeah.
As long as he has full range of motion in his arms, which his cloak kind of allows him to. Like, there's nothing that encumber. Like, he doesn't have like weird like shoulder pads or anything that would have to be like moving out of the way. As long as you give him the right faceplates and the right arm articulation, you can have him do all of the expressions that he would do. You could have like you could do the fists and have him do the angry face. You could have him laughing. You could give him one of these hands so he can cover his mouth. It would just be. I think it would be an awesome figure, and we haven't really seen a figure like that from SH Figure Arts in the Dragon Ball Z line. Everybody's been a fighter, for the most part, with the exception of like maybe Mr. Satan. Everybody has been some kind of, fighter, active character. So I would love to see, King Kai for that reason.
I guess aside from like Bulma, right?
Yeah, but Bulma's also like she's part of the action. She's, especially like if it's like Dragon Ball Bulma. She's always cruising around on motorcycles, and like I consider her to be part of that. We haven't really gotten any of the Kais or anything. So. So that's it. So that's a list of 15 figures or lines from us. We want to hear what you want to see in 2022. So we're gonna post a link to this podcast on social media and on our Instagram, and we want to see what your want lists are. So let's revisit the topic, come back and chat with us on Instagram and Twitter and all those good places. If you're listening to this on YouTube, comment below. Before we sign off, Craig, where can we find you on the interwebs?
You can find me at Craigsstuff on Instagram, and as well as I guess Twitter. I don't use Twitter too much, really, just Instagram. But and then of course on YouTube, it's on Craigsstuff as well. That's my channel. Thank
you so much for joining us this evening, Craig.
Thanks for having me. This was a blast.
And here's to here's to our gentleman's wager on who's going to win. I think Dave probably has the best chance here. I think Dave's going to rack up the most points.
Me too. I agree.
But we'll see. We'll see next.
We'll see.
We'll see next January.
But I'm gonna get a nice free Gibbon figure by the end of 2022.
Mm-hmm.
So
I agree.
Year of the Gibbon.
I'm gonna tweet right now at one of the guys.
Ryan, make
Ryan,
me a Gibbon. Eric's gonna buy it for me.
Yeah, please, please just announce the Gibbon.
Thank you, dear listener, for hanging out with us today. Subscribe, rate, and review us wherever you listen, and then tell your friends to do it. Thanks also to Joe Azzari, the golden voice behind our intro. Our music is Game Boy Horror by the Zombie Dandies. Find more about them both in our show notes.
Follow us on social media at AIC_podcast on Instagram and Twitter. Stop by and say hi, show us your toy hauls, and share your toy stories. Maybe we'll talk about it in a future episode.
Don't try this at home. Void where prohibited and some assembly required. Each sold separately, not a flying toy. Consult a physician if your toy run exceeds more than 4 hours.
This has been a non-productive media presentation. Executive producer, Frank Hablawi. This program and many others like it on the Non-Productive Network is distributed under a Creative Commons Attribution Non-Commercial No Derivatives license. Please share it, but ask before trying to change it or sell it. For more information, visit non-productive.com.